In the small town of Black Hollow, nestled deep within the dense, ominous woods of North Carolina, there existed an unsettling tapestry of truth and terror. Legends whispered through generations, tales of creatures that lurked in the shadows, feeding on the fear that clung to the air like a heavy fog. Among the locals, the cryptids were more than mere stories. They were the nightmares that haunted their sleep, and the chilling reality that lurked just beyond the edge of reason. One such tale revolved around the mysterious disappearance of the Johnson family, whose once joyous home was now a dilapidated ruin, shrouded in an aura of unspeakable dread. The Johnsons had been ordinary people, living ordinary lives, until the day they crossed paths with something extraordinary, or rather something horrifying. It all began with a series of bizarre occurrences that seemed to defy explanation. Strange footprints appeared in the mud around the Johnsons' property, leading to the dense thicket that surrounded their land. Whispers echoed through the town about eerie howls in the dead of night, and glimpses of shadowy figures moving between the trees. The Johnsons, initially dismissing these accounts as the fabrications of overactive imaginations, soon found themselves unable to ignore the mounting evidence. The once happy home became a stage for inexplicable events. Objects moved on their own. Unsettling noises echoed through the empty halls, and an overwhelming sense of being watched pervaded the atmosphere. One fateful night, the Johnsons awoke to the sound of their daughter, Emily, crying out in terror. Racing to her room, they found the window wide open, curtains billowing in the wind. Emily trembled in the corner, eyes wide with fear, as she mumbled incoherently about a shadow man who had visited her in the night. Desperation consumed the family as they sought answers from the townsfolk who, in hushed tones, spoke of the Wendigo, a creature of Native American folklore that hungered for human flesh and was said to stalk the woods, possessing those unfortunate enough to cross its path. Fear gripped the Johnsons as they realized that their once peaceful home had become the hunting ground for something far more sinister than their worst nightmares. The Johnsons decided to leave Black Hollow, abandoning their home and all semblance of normalcy in a desperate bid to escape the clutches of the malevolent force that had invaded their lives. However, the horrors were not so easily left behind. As they drove through the winding roads leading out of town, the air thickened with an otherworldly presence. The forest seemed to close in around them, shadows stretching like skeletal fingers to grasp at the fleeing family. Unearthly howls echoed through the night, and the Johnsons' car sputtered to a stop as if held in the grip of an invisible force. Out of the darkness emerged the silhouette of the creature that had plagued their every waking moment. Eyes gleaming with a malevolence beyond comprehension, the Wendigo loomed before them, a grotesque fusion of man and beast. Its limbs contorted unnaturally, and its elongated fingers reached out with an insatiable hunger. In a moment of sheer terror, the Johnsons were enveloped in the creature's icy grasp. Their screams echoed through the woods, blending with the mournful wails of the wind as the Wendigo claimed its prey. The car, now an empty shell, sat abandoned on the side of the road, a haunting testament to the disturbing truth that lurked within the cryptid-infested woods of Black Hollow. The legend of the Johnson family spread like wildfire through the town, solidifying Black Hollow's reputation as a place where the boundary between the natural and supernatural was thin, and where the chilling tales of cryptids were not merely stories, but disturbing truths that could consume the lives of the unsuspecting. To this day, The remnants of the Johnson home stand as a decaying memorial to the family that fell victim to the dark forces that dwell within the heart of the North Carolina woods. Locals still recount the tale of that fateful night, warning outsiders to steer clear of Black Hollow after the sun sets, for the shadows conceal horrors that defy explanation and logic. And so, the legend lives on, etched into the very fabric of the town's history. A haunting reminder that some stories are not meant to be forgotten, but rather serve as cautionary whispers in the wind, urging those who dare to listen to stay far away from the disturbing true cryptid stories that lurk in the shadows of Black Hollow.